We are recording right now, class, and we are going to learn about, what are we going to learn about? We are going to learn about perfect square trinomials. What?
Where are you recording from?
Perfect, right here. Perfect square trinomials. Perfect square, that's not how you spell square. Perfect square trinomials. Okay? So if you see something like this, for instance, say you have x squared minus 10x plus 25. These are easy because it's just another method of doing something you already hopefully know how to do. This is called a perfect square trinomial because this factors to two things that are the same. Anyone know what goes here and here? Just by looking at it. 5 and 5, negative or positive?
Negative.
Negative. Okay? So you put a negative 5 here, a negative 5 here. Okay? That's a perfect square trinomial. Okay? So another, or you could write this as x minus 5 quantity squared. That's how you say that. X minus 5 quantity squared. Here's another one. Let's do y squared plus 8y plus 16. Who can tell me what that factors to? Who can tell me what that factors to?
Y plus 4.
Right. Shh. Someone else. What two numbers?
9 and 1.
9 and 1? You would
No,
think.
9 and 2. No.
Nope.
I don't know.
Okay. So if you did the little cross method, okay, these numbers need to multiply to 16 and add to 8. What two numbers multiply to 16 and add to 8? 4 and 4. Okay. So this can just be written as what, Maria?
X plus y plus 4.
Y plus 4 and y plus 4. Or y plus 4 quantity squared. Okay? So, in other words, okay, there's a formula. Okay? And it says if a squared plus, well, we can already have this. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared equals a plus b, like this, squared. And you have another formula that says a squared minus 2ab plus b squared is equal to a minus b squared. Okay? So before we have gone from, hopefully, some of you learned the shortcut. You don't have to know the shortcut, but it just makes your work easier. You can go from here to here, and you could go from here to here. Now what we're trying to do is go from here to here. So you're going in the opposite direction without having to do the whole cross and box and all that kind of stuff. So for instance, say I have something like, let me look at my notes. Say I have something like x squared minus 14x plus 49. Who can tell me, looking at this thing, how does that factor? What's a in this case? A is x. What's b? What's b?
49.
No. B is, this is b squared, so what's b? 7. What's, so how does this factor? x times what? What goes over here? 7, is it plus or minus? Minus. Because 2ab is, this would be minus 2ab, which is minus 2 times 7 times x, which gives you negative 14x. And b squared is 49, and a squared is x squared. Okay? So it's just going backwards from here to here. If you have to do the cross method, it's okay, you can do the cross method. Okay, but if you recognize that the square root of this times the square root of this times 2 gives you the middle, and it's a perfect square trinomial. So we're going to do one that can be a little bit harder. Say I did 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. What number do I square to get this? What number do I square to get this? 3. What do I square to get 4x squared? 2 what? 2x. What's 2x times 3 times 2? 12x, right? So this factors to, since this times 2 gives you the middle, then what does this, what would be the factors of this thing? I'll give you a hint. What goes here? 2x, right? What goes here? What goes here?
3.
3. 3. Is it a plus sign or a minus sign?
Plus.
Plus. Okay? So if the square root of this times the square root of this times 2 gives you the middle, it's this plus this squared. Right? So one more, and then we'll go on to the difference of two squares. One more. So say I need a new page. New page. Let's do a nice clean page. So we got 9y squared minus 24y plus 16. 9y squared minus 24y plus 16. Without doing the whole cross, because normally if you would do this, you'd have to do the cross, then you'd have to do the box, then you'd have to factor things out, and it could be kind of a headache. Hey, Sophia,
Yeah.
get up. Okay. What do I have to multiply by itself to get this?
By itself to get that.
Yeah.
3
3 what?
squared.
3y. What do I have to multiply by itself to get this?
4.
4. What's 3y times 4 times 2?
Negative 24.
Negative 24, right? Or if you make it a negative. So how does this factor? What goes here? 3y. 3y. And what goes here?
3y.
Easy. No.
4.
4, right? And what what goes in between them? A plus sign or a minus sign? A minus and a minus, right? And so it's just recognizing these things to be a pattern. Now, not all things factor like this. It's just if this is a perfect square. So I could write this as 3y minus 4 quantity squared, like that. All right. Now we have the difference of two squares. These are easier, okay? Tony, the tiger, how are you doing today? Good. Okay. So, say I have something like this. Let's change colors. Let's get a new sheet. Say I were to have something that looks like, I want a different color. I don't like that color. Let's erase. Sorry. Say I have an x squared minus 9. Okay? So there's no middle term there, no middle term. So what would be, if I were doing the cross and box, what do these two numbers have to multiply to? -9. What do they need to add to since there's no x term? What goes down here?
1.
No. This can be written as x squared plus 0x, right, minus 9. So what do these two things have to add to? 0. What two numbers multiply to -9 and add to 0? -3 and +3. Okay? So this thing factors to, yes?
No, just like a question.
Why is it here? Why is there 0x? Well, because there's no term in between the x squared and the 9. So I just threw in a 0x because I know when I do the cross, like if I were doing the cross and box method, say I have this one, x squared plus 3x plus 3 or something, right? At the top of the cross goes 3, at the bottom of the cross goes 3, right? This number goes here, this number goes here. So since there's nothing to put in between, I can multiply 0 by anything, and I got 0. So just to show you that there's a 0 there, okay? And so this factors to x plus 3 times x minus 3, okay? And this is the pattern called the difference of two squares. It's called the difference of two squares. And so if you have something like if x, not if, for x squared, let me erase this, sorry, for x squared minus, let me not put x there, sorry, I should have looked at my notes, a squared minus b squared, this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. Only works if there's a minus sign there, not a plus sign. So if I have something like, Tony, if I have y squared minus 25, what does this factor to? Not 25. It's a square root of 25.
5.
5. Y plus 5, y minus 5. Okay? What if I had y squared minus 64? What goes here and here?
1 plus 8.
Y plus 8, y minus 8. Okay? What if I had 4x squared minus 9y squared? So this is a little trickier. Okay? What goes here and here? What's the square root of 4x squared? What number do I multiply by itself to get 4x? 2x. What number do I multiply by itself to get 9y squared? 3y. So I make one of them a plus and one of them a minus. So it's like 2x plus 3y, 2x minus 3. And if I FOIL those together, I would get that out. So this is a perfect square number, meaning I could multiply something by itself to get this. And this is a perfect square number, meaning I can multiply something by itself to get this. And there's a minus sign in between. Then I could factor that to 2x plus 3y times 2x minus 3y. And that's a lot easier than doing the cross and box method. Just to show you, if I were doing the cross and box method, what I'd have to do is put a negative 36 here, and then I'd have to put a 0 down here, and then I'd have to say what two numbers multiply to 36, and add to 0, and it would be negative 6 and 6. And then I'd do my box, okay? And then I'd put a 4x squared over here, and then I'd put a minus 9y squared here, and then I would put my minus 6xy here, and my plus 6xy here, and then I'd factor out the greatest common factor, which is 2x, and then I'd factor out the greatest common factor, and then I'd pull out a negative 3y from here, and then I'd pull out a positive 3y from here, and then I would have this, okay? But that's way, way, way more work than realizing that this is a perfect square, this is a perfect square, so it can be factored into 2x plus 3y times 2x minus 2. Are there any questions? Questions? Okay. This is your homework, class. Page. Page
493.
493.
Look at you, Maria.
493.
I read your mind.
2 through 38 evens and 55. And that's it. Stop.